Trans activists have a bizarre habit of being arrested for sex offenses.
Philadelphia transgender activist identified as Kendall Stevens is now charged with sexually assaulting two children under the age of 13.
Possible to transition. It's possible to be your authentic self, your true self, living your truth, and be who you want to be.
These inspiring words of hope are all part of Leilani Munez's unstoppable mission to be a voice to be reckoned with, to help other members of the trans community get access to health care, including gender-affirming care, and to break down barriers about HIV health and treatment.
Leilani Munez, 39, a trans and HIV activist in the Bronx LGBT community, was arrested on October 20th after allegedly contacting an underage boy online and arranging to meet with him.
She was a trailblazer, the first ever openly trans lawmaker in America. Now a convicted sex offender who sent thousands of text messages about sexually assaulting children, specifically toddlers. She exchanged explicit photos of these kids with her partner, who worked at a New England daycare, and took the inappropriate pictures of these kids at her work.
Talking about freedom of access, right? Like, you're taking away the option of choice. In something like a public library or a school library, wouldn't it, having a book there versus not being there, restrict free speech? Aren't you therefore saying that a child has no right to access this information by saying that the place that they engage with 80% of their day isn't allowed to have this object? You're kind of making a bold statement.
If it's pornographic content, I don't think it should be exposed by the
What kind
government.
but what defines pornographic
I just
content?
gave one.
The books this weirdo is advocating to be in school libraries across the United States is books like this, Genderqueer, a graphic novel that is nothing more than homosexual pornography. And this book is gay, one of the most vulgar, despicable examples of LGBTQ indoctrination that I've ever seen. So going along with the theme of this video and the examples I just presented, what do you think happens with this guy?
Please, dude, I said no. Literally have the sex trafficking line. Get up. Get up. I'm not talking. Get up. I'm not trying to anyone. Please. I literally said no. Can you grab my shoe? Move.
This is Lucy Lauser. Lucy is on the City Council of Stevenson, Washington State. Lucy calls himself a transsexual menace. And here are some of Lucy's writings. Being a woman with a penis is not a harbinger of good luck in the modern world. The moment you're born, all the adults present are eager to get a good look at your genitals. Then they reference that mental image for the rest of your life to define who you are and what you're allowed to do. If you object, they call you a disgusting pervert. And then there were all those nudes on my computer. My aversion to clothing started young, influenced both by gender and sensory sensitivity. By age 7, I would take any chance I could to get out alone into the forest and strip naked. I would fantasize about a world in which casual nudity was accepted or even mandated just for a day. If it was law, I thought adults would have to get over their absurd hatred of nudity. Clothing to me was no different than skin, a shell that obscures the reality inside. Lucy was investigated for indecent exposure. And that's who the good people of Stevenson, Washington State elected to be on their city council. Surrey, 42-year-old LGBTQ plus group co-founder Stephen Ireland jailed for blanking 12-year-old boy. Look at this disgusting pervert. Stephen Ireland, the 42-year-old co-founder of Pride in Surrey, has been sentenced to 24 years in prison with an additional 6 years on extended license for a series of grave sexual offenses involving children for blanking a 12-year-old boy he met on the dating app Grindr. The sentencing took place at Guilford Crown Court on Monday, where the court heard disturbing details of Ireland's abuse of a 12-year-old boy and his broader pattern of predatory behavior. Outspoken trans activist Crystal Luzon, who advocated for child gender transitions, arrested on child porn charges. Oregon drag queen activist Eron David Griffin arrested on child sex crime charges. He was charged with 3 counts of third-degree sexual abuse and commercial sexual solicitation. Remember this trans activist who Joe Biden invited to the White House? They're accused of sexually assaulting at least 5 people. This is Jacob Dakota Neves, a well-known trans activist. He was arrested at the age of 19 after sending an undercover federal agent video and photos of himself blanking a child under the age of 4. Forensic analysis of his phone produced videos and images of Neves sexually abusing that child, as well as a second victim who was under the age of 4. His phone also contained thousands of images of children being sexually abused, depicting at least 175 separate victims, none of whom were known to him. Neves pled guilty to 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children, 1 count of distribution of child blank, and 1 count of possession of child blank, and was given a 30-year sentence. He is confined to FCI Waseca, a low-security prison for female offenders.
Well, this case is somewhat unbelievable. 5 months after 27-year-old Michaela Craig tried to enroll at South Albany High School as a 15-year-old, she was sentenced to 20 days in jail and 2 years probation. Prosecutors say on December 12th, Craig emailed the Albany School District and claimed her name was instead Madison, that she was 15 and homeless, and planned to enroll herself into the district. The next day, Craig went to the school district to register for classes. That's when administrators realized something was off and called police. Prosecutors say authorities found the woman was actually 27-year-old Michaela Craig. Craig is a registered sex offender for sexual abuse of a minor in Lincoln County. In 2023, she was ordered to not be anywhere near minors.
As you probably can tell, this is not a female. This is a man.
Anybody who's trying to tell my mom to calm down can fuck off.
Fuck you!
How about be nice to people? Lack of parenting? Really? I don't see a lack of parenting here.
I have been here every minute of her life.
What a great mother. And the crazy thing is, all these news stories refuse to actually call this man what he is, a man. They all refer to him as an individual, a person, or a woman. I asked Grok to give me a summary of the data from the various studies concerning the levels of sexual offending within the trans women population. Make it concise and brief, I asked. Key points. In every prison system that records transgender status, 40 to 60% of trans women inmates are convicted sex offenders versus 15 to 20% of cis male prisoners and 3 to 5% of cis female prisoners. Per capita calculations consistently show trans women are incarcerated for sex offenses at 2 to 6 times the rate of cis men and 50 to 500 times the rate of cis women.